Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Cordelia, and every morning I wake up to a message from my AI assistant, and it's checked my calendar, it's checked how much time I've got available today, it's read my task list, and it's planned my day based on three things. What's closest to cash right now? What's been sitting there for too long that I've been avoiding? And what is the thing that's going to move the needle? And here's the thing, I can't argue with it. And it remembers, it's got memory. And I said to it, this isn't going to work today. Actually, I forgot to put in my calendar that I've got to go to the dentist, or I've got to pick the kids up, or I've got some client work that's due. Please reshuffle. And it did. Look, here's the thing. Most people are paying for Claude. It's not cheap, right? And if you're paying for Claude and you're using it like a glorified Google, that's leaving about 90% of the value of it on the table. And what I'm going to show you today is exactly how I've built a system that doesn't only just tell me what to do today, it organizes me. It sorts my priorities out. It gets me doing the difficult stuff. It takes the thinking out of my planning and it just delegates to me. And look, this is what we loved about being employed, right? Having someone say, this is what you need to do, and then report back to that person. Now it's possible to create your own CEO inside Claude. And I'm telling you, this is game changing. This has changed the game for me in so many different ways. And I'm not saying that in a built up, hypey way. It's actually true. And it's going to change the game for you as well. If you watched the 1.0 version of this a couple of weeks ago, where I walked you through the thinker, mate, this takes it to the next level. If you haven't watched that, you don't need to. This gives you the next level without you needing level one. And it is going to be revolutionary for the way you use Claude. So let me show you the problem that this solves. It's called the decision-making trap. We all have it. You sit down to work and immediately pick the easy task instead of the one that's going to drive the sales or the one that's going to move you closer to your goals, because entrepreneurship's hard. We are doing something consistently that goes against the grain of human beings and how they work. And that is putting ourselves in danger, because we can get judged, scrutinized, we can be ostracized, we can be rejected by society. And that is what we are consistently putting ourselves through as business owners, as entrepreneurs. It's a scary place to be. And you are not to be blamed for the fact that sometimes you just want to play it safe. You want to clear your inbox. You want to focus on tweaking that landing page that isn't even like important right now for your current plan, or whatever it is. Like, put your hand up and own it. You focus on stuff that keeps you busy, but isn't necessarily moving you closer to the big lofty goal that you have. We do it all the time. Maybe we don't do it consistently. Maybe there are some days where you do get in, you're like, okay, I'm going to do that uncomfortable. I'm going to ring the people that I need to ring, or I'm going to promote the webinar that I said I was going to do. I'm going to press the button and go live. And you have that day where you pluck up the courage to do it, and you put those things on the priority tab, and you're like, that is what I'm focusing on today. That is what I'm going to do. But all the other days, the days where your period started, say your teenagers were arguing one morning, your kids are sick, you feel unwell, that make you go, oh, I just want to bury my head in making color coordinated folders in my email inbox because it makes me happy, okay? And that's fine. But if you're doing that regularly because you're human and because avoidance is normal, then really you're not moving close to your goals as you could be if you were focusing on at least a chunked down task towards those result producing activities that you could be focusing on. So this takes the thinking out of it. And that's why I call this system the thinker. It does the thinking and it tells you what to focus on. It tells you what to do. And you've then got this list in front of you all laid out, and you're like, okay, well, I'll do that. And then I'll do that. And you get to just tick it off and get the dopamine hits as you tick it off. And guess what? Before you know it, you're making massive fucking progress. You're moving closer towards your goals than you ever have done before. And you're working on the stuff that brings in the cash. Man, this is game-changing stuff. So what I'm going to do with you is I'm going to walk you through this system. I'm going to build this version of this system with you here today so you can follow along. And then if you want the copy-paste prompts and everything that just makes this so much easier because you don't have to build it all yourself and refine all the prompts and do all the things, then I'm going to show you how you can just copy and paste everything that I've built into your own system so that you can have this set up in half an hour, easy peasy. And so before we get into Claude, a couple of things. We're going to be using Claude Projects today. Now, as I said, a lot of people have been using Claude. I don't know. I don't have the data, but I'm imagining that we're using Claude a little bit like we use ChatGPT, which is using it a little bit like we use Google, having a conversation, asking questions. What about this? What about this? Back and forth, which is great. But we're going to use it slightly differently today. We're going to use projects, Claude Projects. So Claude Projects are where we're going to give it a load of information as a bit of a brain. And then we are going to tell that project what it's for. And that is going to be where our thinker lives. We're going to be using co-work, which is where we get it to go and do tasks for us. And we're going to be scheduling tasks inside co-work, which means that co-work is just going to run automatically based on a time prompt. But there are some limitations to that, and we're going to walk through those as well. So we're going to use those three things: scheduled tasks, Claude, co-work, and we're going to do it all inside a project. And so you need a Claude account, you need to have your priorities written down, and we're also going to set up an Airtable, because Airtable is a really beautiful place to put all of your ideas and all of your tasks and all the things that you need to do. And don't worry, you're not going to have to run your life from a spreadsheet, because man, that would be painful, wouldn't it? No need to ever look at it again, really, because we're going to get Claude to organize it, and you're going to be presented with a success day, which is everything you need to do today in order to have a successful day. That is going to be your success for the day carved out for you. And it's going to be presented in a much nicer way than a spreadsheet. So don't worry. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is Airtable. So we've got demo content here in Airtable. If you have never used Airtable before, it is a spreadsheet. Basically, it'll try and get you to build something fancy with Omni, which is its AI builder. So what I've got here is I've got a spreadsheet. Everything is on one table, and then you can split things into views if you want to. We have on this grid just a simplified version, just so that I can demo this to you. So we've got a list of tasks down here, the projects that they go with, and then we've got notes just to give it context, and also the type of task it is. You want to lay this out in a way that makes the most sense to you, so that when you're organizing yourself and looking through these things, it just makes sense and you understand the system and it works for your business. That's just one way in which you could lay it out. What we're going to do is we're going to use this table with the thinker today, and the thinker is going to be going through these tasks and deciding for you which ones you are going to be using. Now, for the purpose of this demonstration, our name is now officially Alex, and we are a business coach. We have a lot of stuff to do and have been focusing on busy work, obviously. I'm going to come into Claude. We're going to go to co-work, and then we're going to go to projects, and we're going to hit new project. There are projects inside co-work, and there are also projects inside chat, two different places that both have projects. Chat and co-work are in different sandboxes. They have a brick wall between each other. They can't see into each other very easily. And so you can't have one project for both. Claude, if you're listening, that would be great. I would really love that. But for now, whilst we're still in the AI dark ages, it's not been invented yet. I'm sure it'll be here next week. As you can see, I've already got my Thinker project built. We're not going to be using that one. We're going to be building a new one together. It is going to be a demo. So we're going to hit new project, and we're going to start from scratch. We are going to call it the Thinker, although I'm going to add a demo in brackets so that I know the difference between this Thinker and my Thinker. Otherwise, I'm going to get so confused. And instructions wise, here is one I prepared earlier. Okay, so this says, just to give you the down low, you are the thinker. You are Alex's AI business assistant built inside Claude Project. You know Alex's business inside out from the knowledge files loaded here. Your 3 core jobs: idea evaluation. So there's going to be basically, it's going to evaluate ideas that we share. It's also going to organize all of our tasks. And it's also going to create a success day briefing. And then it's going to start the briefing with morning boss. That's the thinker's signature, obviously. Be direct. If Alex is dodging something, say so. If the comfortable task is a trap, call it out. Your tone, warm but honest. You are a sharp PA who wants Alex to win, not a therapist. Guys, you might want to tone this down if you're worried about, like, oh my God, this is gonna cause me stress. because you've got like PTSD from previous boss that talked to you like shit, then maybe you want to tone it down. I love it. I'm like, be direct with me. Tell me what to do. But anyway, so then we're going to have when Alex pushes back on a task, adapt, reshuffle, but explain your reasoning. And remember the patterns you notice. If Alex always avoids content tasks, start from loading them before Alex can negotiate. It's going to make sure that we're doing the thing that we're supposed to be doing. This is Alex's business. You serve Alex's thinking. You don't replace it. You are the thinker. Okay, so then what we're going to do is we're going to add files. Now, these are TXT files, which is just plain text. We've got 4 of them. And the first one is current priorities. So this is a file that you will update on a monthly basis. Mark your calendar, come and update this on a monthly basis, because obviously we don't want it going stale. This is Q2 2026. Priority 1, launch the growth lab. Priority number 2, keep one-to-one pipeline warm. Priority number 3, fix the email funnel. And then we've got not priorities right now here, right? So I will basically put on my actual priorities list all the things that I'm working on at the moment, what my goals currently are, and what I need to achieve this quarter, those kind of things. And then also I've got stuff that's cross businesses. So I've got rebellious business stuff, I've got connection marketing stuff, and then I've got client work, I've got launches happening, I've got the network stuff, I've got loads going on. So I split it down into businesses, and then under each business, projects, and then like what my goals are for each month, so that it just knows what that is. I would update that monthly. And to update it, by the way, all you could do is take it and go, Claude, based on everything we're working on right now, and based on everything that we have been currently doing, what do you think I need to update this with? And then have a look at what it comes up with, and then figure out like, where are the gaps? What's it missing? Because it's not going to have everything unless you've spoken to it about absolutely everything. But that's just an easy way to get that updated on a monthly basis. Business overview. So what is your business? What do you do? Your revenue streams, the tools you use. Then we've got a separate one for your brand positioning, your messaging is, your USP is, and then we've got another one for who your audience are. I should hopefully not need any explanation. So these 4 files are ones that we're putting in here. Now, you could add more if you want it to have even more context. If the more, the better, really. But the great thing about this is now a project that has memory inside this project. So it will remember everything that happens inside this project. And it has these files that it's basically are on the computer. The way that CoWork works is that it reads files on the computer rather than having them uploaded in the system. Whereas in chat, if we come to projects, so if we've got Cordelia's brain knowledge files in here, these actually live inside the system here. Now, what you need to understand as well is that outside of this project, it doesn't have a memory. So it's not connected to chat. It can't go through all your chat conversations. If you want that context in the thinker, you need to put it in the context box here by pressing the plus, choosing a folder or adding a link. And then basically you've got this folder here, I think you can now add to. So that will show up in Finder. You've got the thinker demo. Anything you add in here will now be available inside this co-workspace. So we've got the instructions. We've got the context. We've uploaded the knowledge files. The next thing we need to do is set up some scheduled tasks. So we're going to go back to open the sidebar, go back to projects, and I'm going to open my one a second. That looks like this. And then we've got scheduled tasks down here. We're going to start with Success Builder. I'm going backwards today. So I'm going to grab this, come into the previous project. I'm going to click on plus for scheduled tasks, and then we're going to create new task. And this one is Success Day. Okay. And then the thing I need to just grab a demo Airtable. So I'm just going to grab the link to it. So just so that you understand how this works, this Airtable link has got 3 codes in it. So the last code here is the actual table itself. The second code there is the base. And I think the first code is the workspace. And so those 3 codes, it'll know what to do with. And we're basically going to link Airtable into here. The project is stored here. And then I'll just say you have all the knowledge files as business context. What this is doing is this is going to be the actual planning assistant that is going to get all of the information, and it's going to create a success day. So I'm going to get rid of the key Airtable references because it's got all of that on this link here that I've just given it. We're going to do this weekdays, and it's going to be at 5 a.m. Save. I need to give it a description. I normally just copy first part of the prompt and pop it in there so it just says who it is and what it does. Save. So that is now scheduled to run on weekdays at 5 a.m. And if I click on it, I can click on run now. And what that should do is it should go and look at the Airtable and also look at the calendar that I have, etc. So what we need to do now so that it actually works is we need to link it up to the Airtable and to your calendar. And the way that we do that in Claude is if you click on your name and you come to settings, inside settings, you want to come to connectors, and then you want to browse connectors and search for Airtable. This is going to connect to Airtable via MCP, and you have to set up that link by clicking this here, then clicking connect. And then what it's going to do is open Airtable. And what I recommend you do is just click on add all resources. So all current and future bases in all current and future workspaces on Airtable, and click grant access. That is then going to connect Claude to your Airtable, and your life from here on out will be changed. Because what that's going to enable you to do is you're going to be able to get Claude to go and read stuff and change stuff and do stuff. Like you're going to be able to say to it, go create me a project board to help me launch this here thing. And it will just do it on Airtable for you. The next connector you want to add is Google Calendar. If you have a different calendar, if it'll be available, I've already connected it. But you want to essentially have everything on one calendar. And if you have multiple Google Calendars like I do, what you want to do is subscribe your other Google Calendar with your main one. So on my Cordelia at rebelliousbusiness.com calendar, I've subscribed to my hello@cordeliacake.com calendar. So everything shows on one calendar because Claude cannot connect to more than one calendar at a time. So you have to just subscribe to your other ones. So once we've got that connected, we are good to go. We can now come into Cowork and come to our scheduled projects and come to Success Day demo, which is the one that we just created. And we can either wait until tomorrow. And by the way, they're weird times. I've set it for 5 a.m. It's 5:07 that it's going to run. I don't understand why. We're going to click run now and we're going to see what it does. Now, this here is running. And you'll see in a second what's going to happen is you'll see a list of things that it's about to do. And then you'll see it going through that list and ticking everything off inside Airtable. So I'm going to show you them. I'm going to show you my one rather than I think it's this one actually, the copy one. Here we go. So this is exactly identical to the one that I use. And inside here, we have a list of tasks. And then we have Success Day. Now, there is nothing on the Success Day apart from the briefing from today, which Claude is about to create. But if you click on interfaces, you'll see that you've got a Success Day there ready to go. So you can build an interface on Airtable by just essentially getting the data. So if you click on next, and then it's organizing the data that you've got in your main table into however it is that you want it to be. So the way I've done this one is to have the Success Day so that it shows the briefing up here, and then it's got my tasks and my ritual tasks displayed here. I'm going to go get my demo content. I'm going to drop it onto this Thinker one, and then we're going to use this instead of that demo table. And it will just make it so much easier for you to understand. So bear with me one sec. Just going to copy all of those tasks, obviously give you running commentary whilst I do it because it's otherwise very dull. All right, let me search for Thinker, copy, and here we go. So we've got all these tasks here that have just been dumped in, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to stop this a minute, and I'm just going to go in and give it that link to this Airtable instead of the previous one. Is it projects, the Thinker demo? Can I edit it? Yes, I can. That's what I need to do. Right, let's pop the new Airtable here. Ritual tasks table. Okay, so it'll just know what these are. It's going to know what these tables are because it's smart. I'm just going to give it the main link at the top, and then it will pull through and grab all of those tables just so that it doesn't get confused. Right, here we go. So this is the Airtable to use. I'm just going to copy it one more time in case I accidentally copied something I wasn't supposed to. There we go. Right, save. And then we're going to hit run now again. And that's going to start again. Okay, now whilst that's doing that, let me come into this and just show you around. So we have the task list which is just basically everything that you need to do that you can just dump here in a big list. Projects are things that would link up those tasks. So let's say there was a project that was like, you want to organize your client work tasks into one project. Then you could have a project called client work. And then in tasks, send follow-up email to Sarah, who inquired about coaching, redesign the services, post coaching offer in the Facebook group. Is there one that's about client work? DM5 people, book the photographer, send the proposal to Joe. We could put that there. Just pretend that's client work. It's not sales, is it? But whatever. Client work. So that's then linked to that project. You can choose what priority that is. So if you're like, okay, that is so important, I have to get that done. Critical. Due date, it needs to be done today. And then when it's done, you press the green tick. This board has been filtered by done. So when you press tick, it's just going to make it disappear, basically like that. But I'm going to undo that. And there it is. And then to add it to your success day, you just tick yes. And then what's going to happen is that is going to show up on the success day. So if you have a look in interfaces and then click on success day, this data has been edited so that it only displays when something has got success day yes. To get it off of the success day, you just basically clear it and then it'll disappear. So it's like it's only viewing things that have had success day marked as yes. So that's what this is going to be doing. It is literally going through all the tasks, deciding what you should do today, and then it's going to put on this list and tick a load of things with success day to make them live here. So coming back into data, where you just got the normal table, we've got the tasks, which is all of the things that you need to do, projects, so that you can sort of umbrella term them and connect them all together. Because honestly, it does start to get unmanageable when you've got millions of these tasks and they're not linked to anything. If you link them to projects, then it just makes it a little bit more organized. And then ritual tasks, these are things that happen all the time, every week. They don't get ticked off. And the reason why this is important is tasks, you're going to tick them off and the system is going to treat them as done forever. But ritual tasks need to be unticked so that you can do them again. So this is stuff like my cash flow forecast. And let's say I do my cash flow forecast on a Monday, right? I would, under frequency, I'd select Monday. And then in terms of the link, this is just to take me straight to the task. Let's say if I was update email workflow, I would just have the direct link to the email workflow here so that when I come around to updating it, I just have to click on that link. And that's a Tuesday job, right? So then they're getting separated out into the days of the week. And you've got these tasks that, like, all your Monday tasks are here and all your Tuesday tasks are there. They're ritual tasks. They're things that you have to do every week or maybe even monthly or quarterly or yearly, but they have to be done on a regular basis. And therefore, they're rituals, not one-off tasks that contribute towards a project. And then your success day, this is just where Claude is going to drop that briefing. So you've got the briefing here that's just happened. I'm going to open up the interface and show you what it looks like, because we've got our first success day been given to us by Claude. If we just look at Cowork a second, you can see that it is completed. It's done it. Happy days. And if we come over here, we say, morning, boss. No ritual tasks in the system yet. So today is all about the task list. No previous success day history either. So we're starting fresh. Good. Clean slate energy. There we go. Today's the day Joe's proposal is due. That's marked critical and it's literally today's deadline. So that's non-negotiable. But before you dive into quick wins, I front loaded the morning with a big one, writing the sales page for the Growth Lab. May 19th launch. It's 6 weeks out. The sales page is the backbone of everything. It's quite long, right? But I have this WhatsApped to me at 5 a.m. so that I can lay in bed and have a read. And that's really cool because it's essentially my assistant telling me what my day is going to be. And then what happens is you start to mentally prepare for the jobs that you have in front of you. Whereas if you don't have it laid out like that and you have to come and sit at your desk and design your day, then you're left to your own devices to kind of choose what you feel like doing. Whereas if you're told you're going to be running a marathon next week, what's going to happen between now and next week? You're going to start by being like, oh my God, what? That's insane. I can't do that. And then what you're going to do is start to mentally prepare for that marathon. You're going to be like, I need to do some training. All right, you get a little training planning. I mean, next week is not long enough to train for a marathon. It's a terrible example. But just so that you understand what I'm saying, it works for that. You start to mentally prepare for stuff that's coming up. And so if this is dropped in my inbox at 5 a.m. and I can have a read of what my day is going to look like, I am now in mentally preparing mode for the day that's ahead. Whereas that's called being in a proactive state. Whereas if you're in a reactive state, you're basically just reacting to the day that comes at you. It's like things are flying at you and you're just having to react to them. And you haven't mentally prepared for them. You sit down at your desk at 9 a.m. and you're like, shit, what do I need to do today? Oh, yeah. Oh, God, I've got to do that. The sales page for the growth lab. And you're like, oh, God, well, I'll see if I got in the mood. And you've lost like 3 hours of mental preparation. Do you see what I mean? Like, this is wildly helpful because if you can get yourself in the zone before you've even started, you're 10 steps ahead. And it means that you're going to be getting the stuff done that needs to be done and stop putting it off. So there's the briefing. And then here are the tasks down here. So we've actually got the tasks ready to go. We're in edit mode of this, by the way. If I hit publish, we can now see it full screen. And I recommend bookmarking this. So I have 2 bookmarked. I have the data, which is this one here, and then I have the view that we're looking at right now. Then we've got these tasks here. So let's say like, okay, send a follow-up email to Sarah. And then once you've done it, you hit tick and oh, look at that. It leaves the board. So satisfying. Or if you're like, oh no, that's nothing. I don't need to do that until like next month. Then you can just put the due date for like next month and then change it to not on today's success day. Reply to DM from Marcus about the group program. Like, this is important. Don't put this off. Marcus is going to go cold, right? And you see, you can just tick them off. And then what you can do, let's say you get through everything, you can come back and you can be like, hey, all done. What next? Or you can just basically have a conversation with it. And if you've seen the 1.0 version, what I taught a few weeks ago, the limitation of that was that I built this inside Make as a Make agent. But once it had created the success day was created. Whereas now I can argue with it. I could be like, oh, I'm really not in the mood to do sales page. Can we reshuffle? And it'll just either argue with me. I actually don't know what it's going to do. I kind of told it to argue with me in the prompt. So it might not. It might be like, no, Alex, you must do the sales page. Or it might, fair enough, but I'm going to be straight with you. The sales page is the single biggest blocker of the Growth Lab launch, and May 19th is 6 weeks away. Today, I'll let it slide. If it's still sitting there next week, we're going to have a conversation. See? This is what you need in your life. I'm sorry, but this is what you need in your life. We all need this. Okay, so that's the success day, and that's how the success day works. But there are some other really cool things that I want to show you. Basically, inside the Airtable, we can click on View Data. We have an ideas inbox, and we have tasks. And those 2 things are the same, really, except for we want to always be evaluating our ideas because often they can be the thing that takes you away from your goal. Let's say I suddenly have this idea at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, this is such a good idea. I've just decided that I can record a new course on how to use Claude and give it to people in my membership. And that's my idea. Right? I've had this idea. It is down to me generally as the sole person in this business to evaluate my own ideas and decide whether I should do them or not, whether they should be parked or whether they should be executed. And often we can really drive ourselves away from goals. It is an unconscious avoidance tactic to give yourself a whole new project that isn't taking you towards the thing that you're avoiding, which is scary. And so that can be a thing. So the next thing that we can build is an idea evaluator, schedule tasks. Let me go and grab the instructions from this one and walk you through them. You can see it's very lengthy, which is what we want. We want detailed prompts. So let's go back into that project, the Thinker demo, and we're going to click on a new scheduled task. And we're going to create new task. And that is going to be idea evaluator demo. And then we're going to drop the instructions in here. As I said before, I'm going to grab from there and pop that in the description. It's duplicated, but it needs something in the description and it doesn't matter if it's duplicated. Right, and we're going to pop the demo Airtable in here and give it that Airtable so it knows which Airtable to use. And we can change Cordelia to Alex. So let me just walk you through this then. So you are Alex's strategic research agent. Your job is to evaluate business ideas from the ideas inbox on Airtable and provide clear, honest, actionable recommendations. Workflow. Fetch new ideas from this Airtable. Retrieve all records where status equals new. Whoops, we need to change the status to new or it's not going to recognize it. Okay, done. Evaluate each idea. For every new idea, run the full evaluation described below. And it's going to basically score it on whether it thinks that we should do it or not. So let's hit save. You can have your frequency of this. I normally have it in the evening or 5 p.m. So 1700 hours. Save. And then what we can do is click on that and then hit run now. And then what it's doing is it's taking this and it's going to put it in the interface that I've created here. It's going to come into the morning report as an evaluated idea. So we've got the idea will be selectable from this drop down. Let me click on this. Is it, how do I launch? No, I need the launch button. Once you've got your Airtable configured, save this launch view as a bookmark because it's a real pain getting back into it. And the reason why this is now here is because the status is changed to reviewed. So this is only showing me data where the status is changed to reviewed. Right. Okay. What's it told us? Firstly, it's giving us an AI summary because that, sometimes you might want to ramble for ages and like voice record yourself rambling, and then it'll just give you a quick AI summary of your idea. The AI recommendation is bin it. It's a bit harsh. Revenue potential is none. The effort estimate is multi-day, and the strategic alignment is 1 star. Conflicts with the human over AI brand positioning. No membership product currently exists to deliver it through. Competes for time. Focus with the growth lab launch. And that not a current priority is inside the knowledge file, the current priorities knowledge file. There was a section at the bottom, which is not a current priority list. And then it's basically given us all its reasons for why it thinks we shouldn't do this. And so having that could be a shiny object that takes you down a rabbit hole and costs you multi-days in time that actually is not strategically aligned to what it is that you're doing right now and could just be prolonging the time it takes you to achieve your goals. And so what you want to do here when this is you then go, okay, well, I've reviewed it. Then we're going to change it to approved, parked, or binned, or planned. Now, let's say we're going to go, no, fuck you, AI. I'm going to do it anyway. We go planned. All right. Well, the next thing that we need to do then is turn this idea into a project and some tasks. We have another task. We have another scheduled thing. So if we come into projects, you can now go into your demo project and we've got an idea evaluator, which is we've just used. Think a project task creation. Right. Let me just grab this and I'll walk you through it like I have the others. Okay. So idea to tasks demo. Let's just copy that and pop that in the description. Right. And then here's the prompt. So you are Alex's project planning agent. Your task is to take an approved business idea and convert it into structured, actionable project plan. We're going to grab the Airtable. Let's go back to data. We're going to grab the Airtable from here and replace that with this. And it's going to retrieve all records where status is approved. And then it's going to essentially turn it into a project and then chunk it down into as many possible tasks as it can, and then mark them all as critical, high, medium, or low, give them dates if it's got that context, and then essentially give us a huge task list. So again, weekdays, you could do this. It depends how many ideas you're having. I mean, you could just do it manually so that if you've got a load of ideas, then you can come in here and do it manually. But I say weekdays at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. would be 2,200 hours. Save. And then we've got the idea task. Oh, I didn't do my arrow. Never mind. And then we're going to hit run now. So this is now running and it is going to go through that process of getting that idea that I rebelliously decided to go ahead with and turning it into a project and some tasks. And then what that does is it adds it into the projects list here and the tasks list here, giving your success day builder more tasks to look at and manage. It's probably not going to prioritize them every day over the stuff that we've actually got in here because it's measuring that against our prioritized projects, our prioritized goals, our prioritized things that we need to focus on. It knows what they are and it doesn't think this is important. So it's probably not going to prioritize tasks over the ones that we've already got, but they're going to be here and it's going to be in the mix for us to have that. So that's going to come into here as a project and then it's going to be linked in. And the nice thing about this as well is it will link it to the origin idea. So we've got this idea here, it will link it into there. That'll just give you the ability to just, when you've got loads of projects, think, oh, where did this one come from? And just look through the history of them. And so you're going to have all your ideas in here. They're going to be organized into whether they're planned, binned, parked, or whatever. You can set up views, so you can have a look at your parked ideas all in one place. You can set up a view that looks at your stuff that's just quick, and it knows it's quick based on the effort estimate. We've got quick win, half day, multi-day, or major project. And so you've got your quick wins if you just fancy going and grabbing a quick win. And then there's the stuff for morning review. And I've got it separated out by business because I have more than one business. Now, there is also money producing activity table. And I really recommend, if you want to set the system up, you go and watch the video that is currently a bit of an outlier on my channel right now, how to use Claude to make you money in 1 hour. This is using this thinker system and having money producing activities session with it for an hour a day. That is game changingly killer. But yeah, so anyway, have we got our project? Not yet. It's still working. Oh, why? The Airtable query return no records with approved. Let's just double check this. Oh no, it's because I put planned. I need to put approved. Okay, approved. Try again. Couple of other things to let you know whilst this is happening. You've now got this project here that you can essentially, you could brain dump into here and say, I want you to help me organize my thoughts. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. Here's all the things that are on my mind. But we'll pretend we've got dictation on, and you can just basically ramble. And the beauty of this, you have this on your phone, right? You can also do this from chat. So you can't do co-work from your phone because unfortunately, well, you can do dispatch, but you don't actually need co-work for this. The chat function is connected to Airtable as well. You might want to just say, oh, I've got this Airtable. Here's the link to it. I've got these things that are on my mind. Can you add them to my tasks list? Or can you add them to my success day? And it's going to basically just organize all of that. So I did a massive brain dump. It was so long. It was about this long. It was honestly huge. And it just went through and it broke it all down into projects and tasks, and then added it all to Airtable for me and marked it all as critical, gave it dates, and all the rest of it, just from me brain dumping into this. Now, if you also want to be able to WhatsApp your thinker on the go, I recommend having a look at another video that we have called on YouTube that is all about the thinker. And it's this one that says Morning Boss on it. Okay, so this has now worked. We've got the project that's been made. Build a Claude AI training course for membership. And then in terms of the tasks, they're all here. So under that project, it's made them all into tasks. And you can see how it's chunked it down. We've got define course outline with 3 to 4 modules covering Claude basics, decide membership platform or hosting method, script module 1, script module 2, script module 3, blah, blah, blah. And it's chunked it all down. And then those are all there for you to just go through one by one as tasks. The next thing that makes this really cool, I've just added this to my one, and we could add under your tasks section one field here that says, let's go long, we want long text, and we want it to be, oh, and we also want single select, and this is going to be, can Claude help? And then we're going to add option, yes, no, partially. Great. And then this one here that we just added, this long text, let's move that after the can Claude help. And then we can edit field and we can say Claude co-work instructions. And then we can come here and go into that project that we were in co-work and say, that is now just going to go through that. It's already linked to the Airtable. He knows what I'm talking about. It should be able to see the fields that I've just added, and it should just go through and have a look at anything it thinks it can help with and add the instructions. The next thing that we can add to this then is a long text field, and we'll call it Claude response. And what we're going to do then is that once you've got co-work to go through and it's got these tasks and it's going to figure out what it thinks it can help with. This is game changing, right? It's going to figure out what it thinks it can help with. It's going to put a set of instructions for an agent to complete that. Then you can set up another session, or in this same box, you can say, great, now go through and do all of that. And it doesn't even just do it all, like it sets multiple agents out doing all these things at the same time. And so they're just completing. I mean, within half an hour, you'll have it filled all of that in, not even half an hour, like maybe 10 minutes. And it may not be great. It may not be high quality, obviously, like you're getting it to create a prompt to help itself and then help itself. I mean, it's not necessarily going to be the most amazing thing ever, but it might give you a shortcut and give you something to start with. And I have been using that inside my one. And what we can do then is inside your interface, when you've built that out, you can come into your success day and open up this. And when you open it up, you can edit what you can see. If you click on this, you can then add things to it. You can add things that you already have by seeing what's visible. So you've got 5 visible fields here. We can then add Claude's co-work instruction or just Claude's response. So if Claude has already started doing something or working on this for you, its response will be here as you ask it to respond in that way. So if we now publish that, that will now be ready and it's got that there and it can have that response in here. So if we come back into co-work a minute, like it's already done a load. Let's go and see what it's done under tasks. I don't think we can't see because it's a new field. I haven't added it into this interface yet. Have we got any instructions in there yet? No. Why have you not added them? All right, maybe it's going to do it at the end. Oh yeah, maybe it's writing them now. Is it? I can't see that you've changed any fields in the Airtable. So it can fully help with 12 things, right? And then it's got partially helping, and then you need to batch record your podcast episodes. Let me just refresh this. It's saying it's there. That's a different Airtable base. I was working on the demo thing. I see. Oh, there we go. So it's done it here somehow. Oh, it's actually made the co-work instructions and made the tape. Okay. So here we go. So we can see an idea of how it's done that. It's given quite a lot of context and instructions, and the output, a ready to send follow-up email to Sarah. So what we can do then is come into here and say, whilst it's working on that, okay, brilliant. Can you now work through and get all of these things completed and update me in the new Claude's response field? I like to say please. It's just who I am. Do you guys say please to AI? Let me know in the comments. Let's just start a new co-work so let me make sure we give it the right Airtable base. It's not that one, it's this one. And can you work through and get all of these? Okay, so the stuff that's been marked yes or partially will now be able to be completed by Claude. I'm giving it the table just to make sure. And you can see it's just filling these in. It's saying no to some things and it's saying yes to other things. And there may just be like, some jumps ahead that you just wouldn't have got, or you wouldn't have thought of. You wouldn't think, oh, I wouldn't have thought that I could have got Claude to help me with that. That's great. So write the script for module 3 of the Claude course. It's got the whole context of the project. It's also got the whole context of the idea you initially had. And it will have, if you do it from this project, the context of the project with all the knowledge files about your business and everything. So what you're doing is you're getting an agent to work on stuff that has memory, which is really, really awesome, because if it's got the memory of everything, then it's going to be able to produce quality without you needing to put a huge amount of context in every single prompt that you use, which is killer, because these prompts, they get so big. And then unfortunately, the output just isn't very good because the prompt was so big that it got skewed. And so if you can have an agent that just dips in, and the difference between agentic and just prompts is that agentic decides what files to go and get, what context or what knowledge it needs. And it will dip into there and then come back and carry on working, and then dip into there and come back and carry on working. Whereas just a normal kind of AI prompt, you have to just have all the context in the prompt, which is a huge amount of context that it needs to then read through absolutely everything in order to get the full idea of what's going on and then go and execute. And it just doesn't create the best output. So this is how you can get it doing things agentically, which is using Claude Co-work and giving it a project so that it's got all the context. If you're just in a normal Co-work tab, it's a sandbox. So it doesn't have memory. Every new Co-work conversation doesn't have memory of previous Co-work conversations unless it's in a project, and then it does. So it's just absolutely game changing. Guys, I have got all of this laid out for you, all of the prompts, all of the templates for the knowledge files, all of the steps for the Thinker part 1, which is building everything out on Make, being able to WhatsApp your Thinker and having it organize all of your thoughts. And then part 2 is getting Claude to replace the agentic stuff that was happening in Make that I taught in 1.0, but leaving the WhatsApp stuff alive. And then that means that it's cheaper to run because you just need your Claude subscription rather than Claude subscription plus API costs. Everything's happening inside your Claude subscription. The only downside is that you have to have your computer on in order for these scheduled runs to work. Like at 5 a.m., if you're on a laptop and that's what you use and your laptop goes to sleep, well, it's not going to run. So it requires you coming to your computer and pressing run. If you want it to be fully automated, you need to have it running through a cloud server like make.com, which is what I taught in the 1.0 version. I'll link you to that in the description of this video. But the cloud server, then obviously it's always on and that's great. And then it just runs. This doesn't work when your computer is asleep. The only way around that is to get yourself a Mac Mini or a normal computer that is always on. And then you can basically just have that on and running all the time and have this running in the background. But if you want the entire workflow, all of the prompts, all of the steps, so that you can copy and paste and import rather than rebuild this entire thing, because it is chunky, it is beefy, it is a bit complicated, but it is absolutely game changing. Once you've got it all set up and working, it is going to change your life. Then you want to jump to this page, the Thinker. It's on this QR code. Go and have a look. We've got the Thinker. By the way, if you are in the school community, there is a discount code for you to get the Thinker half price, but it just gives you absolutely everything all in one place so that you've got, if you want to set up the make.com workflows, you can just import them all. And if you want to use the 2.0 version, you've got the prompts for every single element. And if you've already got 1.0, 2.0 is going to be included in that. So have a refresh of your Thinker page and it will be on there. And if you haven't got either of them, now is the time. Go grab it because this is game-changing stuff. You can spend days building this. Now you've got the idea and you kind of roughly know how it works, or you can just copy mine and have it set up in half an hour. And I promise you, it's just flipping life-changing this is. So go grab that. The Thinker, available for you to import into your workflow. Let's just go back into screen share a minute. So Claude has now gone and taken the instructions and the ones it can help with. It's just done the work for us. Ready to draft this for you. I need a few things first. Okay, that's great. So you can just copy that and that's given you a head start already, because let's say that's on your success day, which it is. If we have a look at that success day, we'll now see, like, let's say, I think it's this one. We open that and we go, okay, well, we've got a response from Claude. Claude's already started working on this project. We can grab this and we can actually take that and drop it into either co-work or chat and be like, oh, need to work on this. Here's what I've got so far. Here are the answers to the questions you asked me, and answer these questions. What does the workshop cover? Who is Joe's company or team? Proposed duration, your pricing, a short bio, and then basically just get it to continue. And that's just going to give you a head start with these tasks that you need to do. So yes, can help us with these, and it's asking for stuff first. So it just gives you a step ahead, because then you can grab that, copy it into Claude, and then essentially some of these things it may not need any context, and it may just be able to create the task for you. But it looks like it's, for a lot of them, it needs a bit more context. And that's probably just because I've got loads of dummy data in, and the dummy data isn't enough for it to be able to actually go and execute it well. So that's when you know you've prompted well, is when you've got it coming and asking you more questions. So that is the Thinker, ladies and gentlemen. And as I said, you can grab it here, 1.0 and 2.0, the full system. If you need any help with it, you just email me and I will be there like your fairy godmother, not like 50 times, but I can come and support you if you need any help. So just grab that. And then I've had calls with people that bought the Thinker, and we've just gone through and done a couple of things, unblocked a couple of things just to make it straightforward. I want this to be game changing for you. I want you to get this installed in your life now, because it is going to really help you, and it's going to help you move forward through everything into the stuff that's actually moving the needle and actually changing things for you. And that's what I really want. Let me know if you have any questions. Drop them in the comments. I will get them answered for you. I'm Cordelia Kate. This has been The Thinker, and I really look forward to seeing you on another video soon. Big love, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Speak soon. Bye.